individuals have an innate motivation of wanting to learn and grow. Other researchers also believe that our tendency to learn is due to curiosity and result in maintaining certain of arousal in which people engage in exploratory behaviors, such as when students experience cognitive conflict or when they are in a situation that piques their personal interest.
Thus, in order to reduce the arousal, people tend to resolve cognitive conflicts and learn more about a personal interesting topic. So enthusiasm and excitement about learning are the teacher characteristics that support students' intrinsic motivation. Enthusiastic teachers demonstrate the value of their subject area and even change the negative attitudes some students may harbor about that domain.
So in order to avoid boredom of students, so we have these teacher strategies to elicit students' interest and curiosity. This is by finding topics and activities that are aligned with their students' personal interests.
Such strategies includes first, tailor instruction to students' interest. This contains gathering of information about students' interest and use the information in selecting topics for projects or reports. Next, create student-generated projects wherein teachers allow their students to participate in the development of rubrics that will be used to evaluate their projects. Third, present real-life problems such as using local newspaper to generate real-life problems to be used in school projects.
So next is students need to feel safe. So according to humanistic theories of motivation, the first need to be in place to enable the development of self-motivated learners is safety. Thus, how motivated students can become will be directly related to how emotionally and physically safe they perceive their learning environment to be. Emotional safety is fulfilled when students can trust that teachers and peers respect their viewpoints. And so, modeling respect, responsibility, and equity are the characteristics where teacher can support their students' need to be emotionally safe. So, here are the examples or strategies in which that supports students' emotional and physical safety. First is to engage students in developing classroom rules, such as allowing students to create leadership positions to support the functioning of the classroom. Secondly, to establish classroom safety procedure, which includes discussing and practicing emergency procedures in a classroom. And lastly, protecting students from violence and aggressions, just like a teacher creating an atmosphere in which teasing and other actions that lead to aggression and violence are not tolerated.
Another learner-based condition is students' need to feel accepted, which is also known as the need for relatedness or belonging. Students' sense of belonging is positively associated with their effort, self-efficacy, academic achievement, and most especially, the pursuit of pro-social and social responsibility goals. However, sometimes we experience of being isolated from the group or what we call alienation.
Being alienated may one of the causes where students tend to drop out of school. Thus, a teacher must possess characteristics such as caring and unconditional positive regard in order for students to feel the sense of belongingness.
Here are some teacher strategies used to promote healthy communication and peer acceptance. This includes practicing active listening. This can be done by showing to students that you care about their opinions, such as listening carefully and making eye contact while they are talking to you. Another is to create warm-up activities which create an open and friendly classroom environment. And lastly, to engage students in cooperative learning activities such as creating buddy systems whereby new students are paired with buddies to show them around the school and help them fit in with their peers.
And now, we are down to the last two learner-based conditions of students. So we have students need to feel competent as another foundation of students' motivation. Here, students that will engage in an activity depend on their quantity of material as students make progress. On the other hand, teachers should also possess realistically high expectations of their students in order to promote their sense of competence. In other words, teachers should be confident that with effort, their students can improve their knowledge and skills.
Here are the following teacher strategies that help students set and attain achievable goals. This includes setting achievable goals. For example, encouraging students to write their goals down and give them time to reflect their progress toward their goals. Another is to provide learning aids for complex tasks, such as teaching students on how to use visual representations to help solve complex problems like flowcharts and diagrams. Moreover, it is important to allow students to learn from their mistakes. So in that way, it may create an open and warm environment that encourages students to take risks.
And finally, we have students need to feel autonomous. So students' intrinsic motivation increases when they are given opportunities to take personal responsibility for their learning. Moreover, teachers can support students' sense of autonomy by involving them in development of learning activities that are interesting, useful, and relevant to their personal goals. So teachers whose style is supportive of students' autonomy have students who are more intrinsically motivated and self-regulated than students of more controlling teachers and report greater self-worth and sense of competence. So thus, democratic leadership characteristic of a teacher is essential in motivation and self-regulation of students.
To encourage participation and self-regulation of students, here are the following teacher strategies. First is to teach students how to set academic goals, so that teachers may encourage the students to regularly reflect on their knowledge and skills and how they can help in achieving personal goals. Secondly, supporting the development of students' possible selves. And lastly is to create agency for learning, where teachers will be open to students' suggestions and incorporate them into their plans when aligned with their learning objectives.